One of the goals of data standards is to ensure that all the variable attributes are consistent across different data sets. This example report shows that there are 4 findings that are different. So if I were to tap on that number 4, it drills down to a detailed report where it shows me that for these 2 different data sets, AE and DM, there are actually the same type, however the lengths are different. This occurs with the MH dataset as well, and in the example of the DM and MH dataset, the unique subject ID has different lengths. So sometimes the label are different, other times the format or in formats, but in this example report, the lengths are different. This may cause problems during data merges. So let me zoom back by pinching on the iPhone here and go back to the index to show you that there are other tests that could be executed. For example, if they're mismatch in labels, or by drilling down to the code list with the formats, this report can have many different findings. In order to generate this report, you would just go to the macro area here. So if I were to go back to the macro, let me start from the very beginning, from the iPhone at my home page. In this case, in order to run that, you would start by clicking on the BI Flash utility. This connects to the SAS server, which then is where all the data are stored. So this report could be generated in a dynamic way by first going into the macro area. So within the macro, there are different libraries that have the different reports. If I were to tap on the library, I can go down to the CDIS builder. This is where the DIFFTEST that we just ran. Select that, and then it shows me all the macros or programs available. In this case, we were running the DIFFTEST, and so if I were to tap on the DIFFTEST, it gives me the ability to select the different datasets to run this report. So the first thing I would need to do is select on the library, and within that library, this is on the server. For example, let's look at the example one. If I were to select on that example library, let me select it again here. And then if I were to select on the dataset here, let's say I select on the AE dataset, and then if I go down and select the same library again, but then let's say the DM dataset. So now I'm going to do a comparison in this example of just the AE and the DM. I have the option of running others. If you can scroll down, you can see that there are options to select many other data sets. And then I would just need to tap on the run to execute this. When I tap on the run, it would execute this test evaluation and generate this report dynamically. So in this example, I only did 2 data sets, so it only had 1 finding. If I were to tap on that number 1, it would drill down to the detailed view where it shows me that the study ID is the one that has the difference. If I go down to the bottom of the report here, you can see that there are some summary statistics in terms of what the findings were. In this case, only length was different. So this, and if I go to the index, I can see how this lists all the different test cases. This is a sample title here capturing the dataset that I selected, but I can go back by tapping on this attribute here, and then I can change my title so I can customize this report. So for example, if I were to use the keyboard and type sample report here, and that way this title will occur or appear. If I were to run it now and hit on run, the report will be generated dynamically again, but in this case it would have the title title that I had typed. So this is a quick way of evaluating the latest dataset on the server to see if there are any non-standard or compliance to be consistent with all your datasets.